Did you know that honey can last forever? Honey is one of the few natural products that practically never spoils and can remain edible for thousands of years. Archaeologists discovered pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs, over 3,000 years old, and the honey was still edible. The secret to this longevity lies in honey's unique chemical composition. It contains very little water and has high acidity, which creates an environment where bacteria and mold can't thrive. This natural preservative ensures honey's everlasting freshness, making it a wonder of nature that can remain delicious and usable for centuries. How did people erase before erasers? With bread. Before erasers were invented in the 19th century, people used bread to erase pencil marks. Yes, fresh bread, gently pressed against the paper, could erase unwanted marks. Imagine what your desk would look like if you had to nibble away at your mistakes with a piece of bread. Fortunately, progress has given us erasers that solve this problem without extra calories. As you can see, bread isn't just for eating, it's also a writing tool. Did you know car aromas can reduce accidents? It's surprising but true. The right scent inside a car can make driving safer. Studies show that aromas such as lavender or vanilla can calm drivers, reduce stress, and help maintain focus. A relaxed driver is less likely to be involved in an accident, making the choice of car scent not just a pleasant detail, but also an important safety factor. Surprisingly, the fact is that the area of the United States of America is 9,147,793 km², making it the fourth largest country in the world, behind Russia, Canada, and China. This vast territory encompasses various climate zones, from the tropics of Florida to the cold regions of Alaska, and is home to a wide range of natural landscapes. Moreover, in addition to its size, the U.S. is also known for its population. With 335 million people, it ranks third in the world by population, underscoring its significance on the global stage. What if I told you that there's a desert in Chile where it snows? The Atacama Desert is one of the driest places on Earth, but sometimes it snows. This rare natural phenomenon happens due to sudden climate changes and brings precipitation to regions that have not seen rain for years. Snow falling on the red sands of the desert creates an incredible contrast, making this place even more mysterious and astonishing. Tourists from around the world come to witness this unique natural wonder. Cleopatra. Closer to us than to the pyramids. Cleopatra, the famous Egyptian queen, lived closer in time to us than to the construction of the pyramids. Her reign ended in 30 BC, while the Great Pyramids of Giza were built around 2600 BC. It's mind-blowing to think that Cleopatra is closer in time to the modern world than to those ancient wonders she could have seen in her Egypt. This is a vivid reminder of how history can challenge our perception of time. Did you know the average person spends 6 months of their life at traffic lights? The average person spends around 6 months of their life waiting for red lights to turn green. This adds up from all the small stops we make at intersections and crosswalks every day. While it may seem like only a few seconds here and there, over a lifetime, it becomes a significant chunk of time. These moments of waiting remind us of the hidden rhythms of everyday life and how much time we spend on seemingly small things. Ever thought about why termites build skyscrapers? Those towering mud mounds dotting the savannas aren't just dirt piles, they're architectural marvels of natural engineering. Inside, an intricate system of tunnels, vents, and fungal gardens thrives, all maintained at stable temperature and humidity levels. Termites use a form of climate control by opening and closing vents to regulate airflow and gas exchange, keeping the internal environment ideal for their symbiotic fungi. These fungi break down plant material, turning it into digestible food for the colony. Researchers have studied termite mounds to inspire sustainable architecture. Their passive cooling system has influenced the design of modern, energy-efficient buildings in cities like Harare, Zimbabwe. It's nature's version of green architecture. No blueprints, no HVAC systems, just millions of tiny builders with a shared goal. Did you know sloths can hold their breath for ages? You might think of sloths as the slowpokes of the animal kingdom, but they have some pretty amazing skills too. One of their coolest tricks is the ability to hold their breath for up to 40 minutes. That's right, these laid-back creatures can dive underwater when they need to, which comes in handy for a couple of reasons. First, it helps them stay safe from predators, as they can slip into the water and disappear. But it's not just about hiding. This impressive breath-holding ability also lets sloths reach new food sources. They often live high up in trees, and sometimes they need to take a dip in the water below to munch on some tasty leaves or fruits. Sloths are perfectly adapted to their leisurely lifestyle, which includes moving slowly and spending most of their time hanging out in the treetops. So next time you see a sloth, remember they're not just about slow living. They've got some remarkable tricks up their furry sleeves when it comes to survival in the wild. Is it possible? The moon is gradually drifting away from Earth. The moon is slowly but surely moving away from Earth at a rate of 3.8 centimeters per year. This process is caused by tidal forces between Earth and the moon, which slow Earth's rotation and gradually widen the moon's orbit. This cosmic waltz has been going on for billions of years. Interestingly, in the distant future, the moon may become so far away that it will no longer appear as bright from Earth as it does now. Did you know that the colored squares on toothpaste tubes aren't magic? You've probably noticed the small colored squares at the end of toothpaste tubes. Some people believe that these colored markings indicate the product's composition, whether it's natural or chemical. But that's just a myth. These marks, which can be black, blue, red, or green, are known as eye marks and serve purely technical purposes. They help machines on the production line correctly orient the tube for packaging and labeling. These marks contain no information about the toothpaste's ingredients or quality. So next time you see such a mark, you'll know it's just a technical detail, not a sign of some mysterious chemical composition. How long do you think the world's longest tongue is? British artist Nick Stubrel holds the title for the world's longest tongue. His tongue measures an impressive 10.1 centimeters, just under 4 inches. Nick can perform amazing tricks with his tongue. He can lick his nose, elbow, and even his own eye. He has also turned his unique talent into an art form, using his tongue to paint portraits. Nick covers his tongue in paint and makes strokes on canvas, creating truly unusual pieces of art. Talk about extraordinary skills. This is why many consider the USA a symbol of democracy. Despite its globally recognized influence on democratic processes, it's interesting to note that women gained the right to vote in the U.S. only in 1920, after many years of fighting for their rights. Native Americans, the indigenous people of the country, became official U.S. citizens only in 1924. This demonstrates how long the struggle for equality and justice has been in a country that today symbolizes freedom and democracy for the entire world. Did you know that cats can make over 100 different sounds? Cats are true vocal virtuosos. They can meow, purr, hiss, growl, and produce countless other sounds, each carrying a specific meaning. Unlike dogs, who mostly bark, cats use a whole range of sounds to communicate with humans and each other. This rich vocal repertoire helps them express emotions, moods, and desires. If you have a furry friend at home, rest assured they'll find a way to talk to you about their plans. Can you believe it? There are islands that appear and disappear. In some parts of the world, especially in the Indian Ocean region, there are sandy islands that appear and disappear depending on the tides. These islands are known as ghost islands. They may only exist for a few hours or days before being submerged again. This incredible natural phenomenon raises questions among scientists about how such unstable ecosystems form. How about this? In Sweden, there's a competition for the worst-smelling socks. This may sound absurd, but Sweden holds an annual competition called the Stinky Sock Contest, where participants compete for the title of owning the smelliest socks. The competition attracts many brave souls willing to wear their socks for months without washing in hopes of winning. The socks are judged based on intensity and aroma, and the winner gets not only the title, but also unique prizes, such as a year's supply of new socks. It sounds weird, but this contest really exists. It's hard to believe, but balancing barnacles glue better than superglue. These humble sea creatures are master chemists. Barnacles secrete a natural underwater adhesive, made from complex protein polymers and calcium, which instantly hardens in salt water. Their glue can bind to almost any surface, metal, rock, or shell, and remains stable in high-pressure, turbulent environments. Lab tests show their cement has bonding strength up to 14 MPa, surpassing many industrial adhesives. Unlike superglue, it's eco-friendly, biodegradable, and works flawlessly underwater. Scientists are studying its structure to develop medical-grade sealants and underwater construction adhesives. Evolution refined this formula over millions of years, solving engineering problems that still challenge human scientists. It's one of the most perfect examples of nature outperforming industry with sustainable brilliance. Xbox controllers in U.S. submarines. Gaming revolution at the Navy service. Can you imagine that the U.S. Navy uses Xbox controllers to operate periscopes on submarines? This unexpected fact came about due to a desire to make control systems more intuitive and user-friendly for young sailors who are familiar with video games. Additionally, using off-the-shelf gaming controllers significantly reduces the cost of developing complex military systems. This move not only simplified the work of sailors, but also made it a lot more fun. Who would have thought that a beloved gaming gadget would find a place in such serious conditions? Who would have thought that the most densely populated state in the U.S. is New Jersey? Despite its small size, New Jersey boasts an incredibly high population density, making it unique in terms of living space. However, California deserves attention for its urbanization and its role as a global tech hub, home to major cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco. Ultimately, every U.S. state is unique and plays its part in the overall picture of the country, serving as an important cultural and economic center. Did you know that crocodiles can digest metal objects? A crocodile's stomach is a powerful digestion. It produces one of the strongest acids in the animal kingdom, capable of breaking down bones and even metal. This trait is especially handy when crocodiles swallow stones to regulate their weight or accidentally ingest metal objects like fishing hooks or nails. This incredible digestive power ensures that they can thrive in the wild by consuming almost anything that comes their way. So if a crocodile accidentally swallows something metal, it has no problem making a meal out of it. Did you know there's a fort made entirely of coral? Fort Jefferson, located on Dry Tortugas Island in Florida, is one of the largest structures made of coral blocks. Construction began in 1846 and continued for more than 30 years. This fort served as an important strategic defense point for the U.S. coastline, but it's also famous for being built almost entirely out of coral reefs. Now it's a national park and a popular tourist attraction. Did you know that what is called informing in Belarus, Russia, and throughout Europe is considered a manifestation of vigilance in the United States? Americans are accustomed to acting quickly and calling the police if they notice something suspicious in their neighbors or local area. In a country where safety and order are highly valued, residents see it as their duty to monitor their surroundings and help maintain public order, sometimes even without being asked. This illustrates the dominant culture of vigilance in the U.S., where it is viewed not as interference, but as a responsibility of every citizen. Surprisingly, Americans consume about 150 million hot dogs each day, making the U.S. the world leader in hot dog consumption. It may seem odd, but hot dogs are an integral part of American culture. They are especially popular at baseball games, street food courts, and picnics. In the U.S., a country rich in fast food, there are even national holidays dedicated to this product. This level of consumption reflects a culture where food often serves as a quick and convenient dining option available in any circumstance. Did you know the world's largest crossword puzzle has over 66,000 squares? In 2015, Japanese puzzle master Nomio created the world's largest crossword puzzle. This gigantic puzzle boasts 66,666 clues and 93,700 squares. It took 4 years to complete and was displayed in a Japanese shopping mall. Today it's preserved in a book form, giving puzzle lovers a chance to marvel at this monumental brain teaser. Did you know the world's largest living rodent can weigh over 60 kilograms? The capybara, or water hog, is the largest rodent on Earth. It can grow up to 1.3 meters in length and weigh as much as 66 kilograms. The semi-aquatic herbivore, native to South America, has webbed feet that help it swim. Capybaras can hold their breath underwater for up to 5 minutes and are highly social animals, often living in groups of up to 100 individuals. Imagine for a moment that goats have panoramic vision. Goats are known for their fearless climbing on steep cliffs, but their eyes play a huge role in that daring agility. Unlike humans' round pupils, goats have rectangular, horizontal pupils that provide a panoramic 320-degree field of vision. This allows them to detect movement from virtually all directions without turning their heads. Even more amazing, their eyes rotate independently to keep the horizontal plane steady as they move over uneven terrain. It's like having a built-in stabilizer and wide-angle lens. This adaptation gives goats confidence to traverse high-altitude ledges where predators lurk and where a single misstep can be fatal. It's not just strong legs that keep goats safe, it's their extraordinary eyes evolved for balance, survival, and a constant view of everything around them. One spaghetti noodle is called spaghetto. Spaghetti is one of the world's most popular dishes, but did you know that if you have just one noodle, it's called a spaghetto? This quirky grammar twist adds a touch of loneliness to an otherwise delicious meal. So if you ever find yourself dining alone on a single strand of spaghetti, don't feel bad. You're just following proper Italian grammar rules. Italian grammar makes food not only delicious, but also a little more poetic. It's interesting that elephants have toes on their feet. Beneath the massive feet of elephants lies something surprising: 5 toes with thick pads that help evenly distribute the giant's weight. This allows elephants to move almost silently, despite their enormous size. Furthermore, these toes help them walk on various terrains, from desert sands to dense jungles, without getting stuck or injuring their feet. This foot structure makes their movement light and graceful, with each step feeling the surface beneath them. Did you know the largest living organism on Earth is a mushroom? The honey fungus, also known as the giant mushroom, covers an astonishing 2,385 acres in the Malheur National Forest in Oregon, USA. This fungus forms a massive underground network of mycelium, which is the vegetative part of the fungus that spreads beneath the soil. The mycelium isn't visible to the naked eye, but it is responsible for the mushrooms that appear above the ground. Can you imagine one organism covering such a vast area? It's a true wonder of nature that few people know about. Can you imagine that in Colorado, there's a town where it's illegal to die? In the town of Nederland, Colorado, there's a strange and even absurd law. You can't die in the town. This law stems from a local history involving attempts to preserve a man's body in a frozen state. Now, the town has declared itself a territory for immortals, and locals jokingly claim that they're simply not allowed to die. Of course, the law isn't enforceable, but many people visit Nederland to laugh at this odd tradition and learn about the story of the frozen eternal resident. Imagine for a moment that almost every family in the US owns a car, with most families having more than one. This car culture has become an integral part of American life, and almost everyone, from large cities to small rural communities, relies on automobiles. Only a tiny fraction of families are without cars, highlighting how vital vehicles are to Americans. In the US, a car is not just a means of transportation, but also a symbol of freedom, mobility, and independence. How would you react if you found out that Las Vegas is the brightest place on Earth, visible even from space? This city has become the unofficial capital of gambling and casinos. Interestingly, the legalization of casino operations in Nevada was aimed at boosting the state budget, which needed funds for building schools. As a result, Las Vegas has transformed into a true cultural phenomenon, with its bright lights symbolizing not only the city, but also the entire American dream associated with risk-taking and entertainment. Ancient Roman firefighters and their unusual tactics. In ancient Rome, firefighting wasn't just about saving lives. It was a business. When a fire broke out, firefighters would rush to the scene, but they would only put out the flames if the property owner agreed on a price. This strange combination of urgency and negotiation shows just how different firefighting was back then compared to today. Back in those days, saving a building from flames required both money and quick decisions. Why do cat whiskers really resemble antennas? Whiskers, technically called vibrissae, are far more than decorative features on a cat's face. These thick, stiff hairs are deeply embedded in nerve-rich follicles, making them ultra-sensitive to touch, airflow, and vibration. Found not only on the muzzle but also above the eyes, on the jaw, and even on the paws, whiskers help cats navigate tight spaces, hunt in darkness, and judge distances before leaping. They detect air currents around objects, giving cats a kind of sixth sense that lets them see with touch. When stalking prey, whiskers track the slightest movements, helping cats pinpoint the exact location of a target. During a jump, they act like gyroscopic sensors, helping with last-second mid-air corrections. In essence, whiskers are natural motion detectors and navigation tools, biological radar systems that turn every cat into a precision-controlled predator. Did you know Jamaica gave us reggae and the fastest man? This vibrant Caribbean island is famous not just for its stunning beaches and lush landscapes, but also as a cultural powerhouse. Jamaica is the birthplace of reggae music, a genre that blends rhythm, soul, and social commentary, famously brought to the world by the legendary Bob Marley. His songs, filled with messages of love and resilience, have made an indelible mark on music history, inspiring countless artists across the globe. But that's not all. Jamaica also proudly claims Usain Bolt, the world's fastest man and a sprinting legend. With his remarkable speed and charismatic personality, Bolt has won multiple Olympic gold medals and holds the world record for the 100-meter dash, clocking in at an astonishing 9.58 seconds. Together, Marley's and Bolt's legacies showcase Jamaica's rich contributions to the world of entertainment and sports. So next time you hear a reggae beat or catch a glimpse of a sprint event, remember the incredible talents that this small island has gifted us. Imagine for a moment that Las Vegas came about purely by chance. In 1829, a caravan traveling from Texas to California lost its way. The desperately thirsty people were fortunate to find a source of fresh water, and they named the place Las Vegas, which in Spanish means fertile meadows. This chance encounter laid the foundation for the city that would eventually become the casino capital and global entertainment hub. How would you react if you found out that the famous Area 51, known for its top-secret status, is located in Nevada? This highly classified territory is owned by the U.S. government and is one of the most talked-about sites on the planet. It is rumored that experiments involving extraterrestrial technologies and mysterious incidents take place here. The area is shrouded in numerous myths and rumors, which only adds to the intrigue of this location. Who would have thought that some jellyfish can live forever? The jellyfish Turritopsis dohrnii can revert from its adult stage back to its juvenile stage, avoiding death. It can regenerate its cells and rejuvenate, making it practically immortal. Scientists are still studying this phenomenon, but the potential of this process opens up incredible possibilities for research into cell aging and regeneration. If humans had this ability, we could avoid many diseases and extend life expectancy. Did you know there is no concept of sound in space? The vacuum of space does not transmit sound waves because there are no molecules to carry them. This means that explosions or loud events in space, like in sci-fi movies, would actually be silent. If you found yourself in open space, you'd see flashes and movements, but you'd hear absolutely nothing. So space isn't just dark, it's also eerily quiet. Did you know that earthquakes also happen on the moon? Yes, indeed. The moon experiences its own kind of tremors, known as moonquakes. These shakes can be caused by Earth's gravitational pull, meteor impacts, or tidal forces, and they can last for up to an hour. Surprisingly, moonquakes can reach magnitudes of up to 5.5 on the Richter scale. Just imagine, the moon, our constant celestial companion, reacts to Earth's gravitational pull as if dancing in space alongside our planet. This shows that the moon is more alive and dynamic than we might think. Imagine for a moment that chimpanzees communicate almost like us. Chimpanzees use a rich combination of vocal sounds, gestures, facial expressions, and body language to interact. Their vocalizations include over 30 distinct calls, from food alerts to alarm cries, and even soft coos for reassurance. Each group of chimps has its own dialect, specific patterns of sounds and gestures passed culturally from adult to young. Chimpanzees also gesture with intention. A hand wave, foot stamp, or chest beat can convey urgency, dominance, or invitation. In labs, some chimps have even learned to understand hundreds of human words and symbols, showing the capacity for abstract communication. These apes don't just mimic, they adapt, teach, and express emotions, ideas, and even plans. The similarities between chimp and human communication offer insights into the roots of language and the evolution of intelligence. Did you know Morocco was America's first ally? In a fascinating twist of history, Morocco stood out as the first nation to recognize the United States, doing so way back in 1777, just a year after the Declaration of Independence was signed. This act wasn't just a friendly gesture. It was a powerful statement that underscored Morocco's support for the fledgling nation during its formative years. A few years later, the two countries took it a step further by negotiating a treaty of friendship, which has remarkably withstood the test of time and continues to be in effect today. This treaty established one of the longest-standing international relationships in U.S. history and highlighted Morocco's role as a crucial ally. It allowed American ships to safely enter Moroccan ports, paving the way for trade and diplomacy that would flourish in the years to come. So next time you think about America's allies, remember that it was Morocco, a vibrant North African nation known for its rich culture and history, that got the ball rolling. Why exactly does the Statue of Liberty belong to New Jersey? This iconic symbol of freedom and democracy, known worldwide, actually sits in New Jersey's waters. While it's often associated with New York City, the legal and geographical details tell a different story. The statue rests on Liberty Island, which is surrounded by the waters of New Jersey. This curious situation arises from an 1834 agreement between New York and New Jersey. The state of New Jersey originally claimed the land due to a 1664 charter, and subsequent laws confirmed that the waters surrounding the island were also part of New Jersey. As a result, many people often wonder if visiting the statue means they're stepping into New York or New Jersey. Besides its geographical quirks, the Statue of Liberty is a powerful symbol of hope for countless immigrants as they approach the American shores. So next time you admire Lady Liberty, remember that her official home is in the Garden State. The story of the word dude. From insult to friendly greeting? The word dude first appeared in the 1800s as a derogatory term for men who were overly concerned with fashion. But over time, its meaning shifted, and by the mid-20th century, it became a casual term for addressing friends or even strangers. Today, dude is a friendly word that can refer to almost anyone and has become a staple of everyday slang. Who would have thought that a word that started as an insult would end up as a friendly greeting? How iron buttocks help Samsung test phone durability. Have you ever wondered how smartphone manufacturers test the durability of their devices? Samsung uses a rather unusual method to test their phones. They created a special robot shaped like human buttocks that sits on phones to simulate the pressure people exert when they sit with their phones in their back pockets. The robot even wears jeans to make the test as realistic as possible. This innovative testing helps the company ensure that their devices can withstand everyday challenges and won't break under pressure. Amazingly, Norway has a special underwater restaurant. Norway has opened Europe's first underwater restaurant called Under. It is submerged 5 meters underwater, and through large panoramic windows, diners can observe the underwater world without leaving their table. The restaurant offers not only gourmet cuisine, but also the chance to watch fish and sea creatures swimming just meters away from you. This unique restaurant has become a major attraction for food lovers and nature enthusiasts alike. Did you know that Hawaii is home to the tallest mountain peak in the world? Although Mount Everest is the highest point on land, when considering the underwater portion of the Mauna Kea volcano, it is 1.9 kilometers taller. Mauna Kea is a submarine volcano that begins on the ocean floor and rises nearly 10 kilometers upwards. From its summit, there are breathtaking views, and this volcano is regarded not only as a geographical wonder, but also as sacred by the local Hawaiians. Mauna Kea attracts the attention of scientists and tourists from around the globe, as its grandeur inspires admiration and respect. Did you know that koalas have fingerprints just like humans? Yes, these fluffy Australian creatures have fingerprints that are almost identical to those of humans. Their intricate and unique patterns are so similar that if a koala left a print at a crime scene, it could be mistaken for a human's. This surprising similarity adds to their charm, making them even more fascinating. Nature never ceases to amaze, creating such unexpected similarities between species. Imagine koalas as little detectives, leaving their own unique traces in the eucalyptus forests. You might be a descendant of Genghis Khan. In 2003, scientists conducted a study that revealed that about 16 million men worldwide share a common Y chromosome with Genghis Khan. This means that approximately 1 in 200 men is a direct descendant of this famous conqueror. Genghis Khan and his descendants left a significant genetic legacy across the vast regions he conquered. Although this study focuses on the paternal line, it shows just how intertwined history and genetics can be. Throw an apple. Declare your love. The romance of ancient Greece. In ancient Greece, throwing an apple at someone was a symbol of love. This gesture meant a declaration of love and was equivalent to a marriage proposal. The apple was associated with the goddess Aphrodite, which added even more romantic meaning to the action. If the person caught the thrown apple, it meant they accepted the feelings. Modern life may not have such gestures, but this fact shows how much cultural norms have changed over time. Did you know your eyes reveal your diet? It's true, the positioning of an animal's eyes can tell us a lot about what they eat and how they survive. Carnivores, like lions and eagles, have their eyes positioned at the front of their heads. This gives them excellent depth perception, helping them zero in on their prey with pinpoint accuracy. Imagine a lion stealthily moving through the grass, its sharp gaze locked on a gazelle. Now let's flip the script to herbivores. Think cows and rabbits. They have eyes located on the sides of their heads, allowing them to have a wider field of vision. This adaptation helps them keep an eye out for potential predators lurking nearby. With their panoramic sight, they can spot danger from almost any angle, making it easier to escape before it's too late. So next time you look at an animal, take a moment to notice where their eyes are. It's more than just a pretty face. It's a survival tool reflecting each creature's unique role in nature. Why do seahorses dance before mating? Seahorses perform entire rituals, dancing with their partners to form a special bond before raising offspring. These dances can last for hours, and during them, pairs swim in sync, change colors, and even hold each other by the tails. It's not just a dance, it's a true expression of affection that helps strengthen the bond between partners. In the underwater world, these dances surprise with their grace and tenderness. Did you know that the USA leads the world in Olympic medals? The United States holds the all-time record for Olympic Games medals. American athletes have earned more than 2,900 medals throughout the history of the Games. It is the only country to have won more than 1,000 gold medals. The USA continues to dominate, winning medals at every Olympics since the start of the Games in 1896. In 2024, at the Paris Games, the USA became the first country to surpass 3,000 total medals. This is a phenomenal achievement. Hard to believe, but borders can be peaceful. The Canada-US border stretches an impressive 5,525 miles, making it the longest international border in the world without military patrols. This unique aspect of the border fosters a sense of mutual trust and cooperation between the two nations. Both countries share not only vast landscapes, but also a strong economic partnership and cultural ties. Despite the extensive length, the border is marked by friendly customs and immigration regulations, rather than military presence. You might think of borders as places of conflict, but here it's about smooth passage and connection. People cross back and forth for work, family visits, or just to enjoy nature in places like the stunning national parks that straddle the line between the two countries. Interestingly, the peaceful nature of this border has allowed for a variety of joint initiatives, including environmental conservation projects and disaster responses. This friendly border shows that nations can coexist without tension, proving that sometimes peace really is the key to a flourishing relationship. Wow, sunflowers follow the sun. Sunflowers are not just stunning flowers. Young sunflowers are natural sun trackers. This phenomenon, called heliotropism, allows them to turn their heads throughout the day to follow the sun's movement from east to west. This remarkable ability helps sunflowers optimize sunlight absorption for photosynthesis, boosting their growth. As they mature, they stop following the sun and permanently face east. This fascinating behavior illustrates how plants adapt to their environment to thrive. Did you know that the giant anteater feeds with a tongue up to 2 feet long? With no teeth and a jaw that barely opens, the giant anteater seems ill-equipped for hunting, but evolution has equipped it with one of nature's most extraordinary feeding tools, a sticky whip-like tongue up to 60 centimeters long. Covered in backward-facing spines and saliva as thick as glue, this tongue darts in and out of termite mounds and ant nests up to 140 times per minute, slurping up to 30,000 insects in a single sitting. Its powerful claws rip through hardened nest walls, while its elongated skull and specialized muscles propel the tongue with lightning speed. Unlike most mammals, its digestion begins externally. Enzymes break down prey in the stomach, with the anteater's strong acids dissolving tough insect exoskeletons. It's a bizarre but brilliant system. No chewing, no biting, just pure suction efficiency in the fight against ant colonies. And how about this? Kangaroos deliver a lethal kick with their hind leg. The red kangaroo, the largest marsupial on Earth, may look cute, but it's equipped with a deadly secret weapon, its hind legs. Packed with massive spring-loaded muscles and supported by a thick, balancing tail, these legs can deliver kicks at nearly 50 km/h with force strong enough to crack ribs or knock down a predator. In a fight, a male kangaroo balances on its tail like a third limb, launching both feet in a swift upward motion that can incapacitate opponents. These kicks aren't just used in defense. They're crucial for determining dominance within groups, with males boxing, grappling, and kicking to establish rank. The tail also stabilizes them during jumps, turning each movement into a calculated burst of agility and power. In the wild, the kangaroo's kick isn't just a defense, it's a declaration of strength, precision, and control. Why is Louisiana really considered the most dangerous state in the USA? Louisiana, located in the southern part of the country, is considered the most dangerous state in the US in terms of murder rates. This state suffers from a high level of violence, making it one of the most crime-ridden in the nation. In contrast, New Hampshire, situated in the northeastern US, is the safest state with minimal crime rates. The stark difference between these states highlights the significant disparities in crime across various regions of the US, largely influenced by social and economic factors. Believe it or not, the dragon's blood tree cries red sap. On the island of Socotra, there grows an ancient tree that releases a bright red sap that looks like blood, giving it its name. The sap of the dragon's blood tree has been used for centuries in medicine, as well as for making dyes and even in rituals. This unusual substance acts as a natural antiseptic and is still considered a valuable resource in some cultures. Legends say that the tree guards its secrets, and the sap is the tears of an ancient dragon. Have you ever wondered that there are underground oceans? Beneath the Earth's surface, there are massive water reservoirs, which could be called underground oceans. The volume of water in these reservoirs exceeds that of all the oceans, lakes, and rivers on the surface. These hidden waters are located hundreds of kilometers deep underground, and scientists are just beginning to understand their role in the planet's geological processes. Did you know that secret staircases were built into Italian houses? In Italian cities like Venice and Florence, aristocrats often built houses with secret staircases that allowed them to hide in case of danger. These staircases were hidden within the walls and led to secret rooms or exits. Some of them still exist today and are true architectural treasures. Even now, these hidden passages continue to fascinate explorers and tourists, intrigued by the mysteries of the past. Did you know that in the US, 1 in 8 couples met through online dating? This is an intriguing and telling fact about how technology has transformed personal relationships. Modern Americans increasingly turn to the internet to find partners, making this a norm in the digital age. This trend continues to grow, with dating sites becoming ever more popular. Over the past few decades, online dating has become an integral part of life for most Americans. Did you know one lightning strike could toast 100,000 slices of bread? A single lightning strike can generate enough energy to toast about 100,000 slices of bread. This figure highlights the colossal power of lightning and its ability to generate incredible amounts of energy in just fractions of a second. Next time you see lightning, imagine how powerful nature is, not only booming thunderously, but also capable of powering an entire electric grid. Nature continues to astonish with its immense potential. Did you know the U.S. unemployment rate is still surprisingly high? The unemployment rate in the U.S. remains high, despite numerous efforts by authorities to reduce it. There are approximately 11 million unemployed individuals in the country, which is equivalent to the population of Greece. This issue persists even during periods of economic growth, as many citizens continue to experience social insecurity despite government and private sector initiatives. The problem of unemployment is becoming increasingly prominent, affecting millions of Americans, including those with higher education who are unable to find jobs. Welcome to a town with a population of 1. Imagine an entire town with only 1 resident. Monowai, a small town in Nebraska, USA, has a population of just 1 person, Elsie Eiler. She wears many hats: mayor, librarian, and bar owner. This tiny town with a population of 1 is a unique place in the U.S. Elsie runs everything on her own, collects taxes from herself, and serves the few tourists who pass by. Monowai is a living example of a one-woman show, drawing attention because of its uniqueness and Elsie's story. Did you know it's impossible to breathe and swallow at the same time? Want to know why? It's all thanks to a small flap in our throat called the epiglottis. When you swallow, the epiglottis automatically closes your airways to keep food and liquid from entering the windpipe. This amazing mechanism protects us from choking and makes swallowing safe. Next time you drink water, think about how your body works behind the scenes to keep you safe every step of the way. Believe it or not, ukuleles are banned in Salt Lake City. This quirky law makes it illegal to carry an unwrapped ukulele on the street, which sounds strange, right? While the reason for this odd regulation isn't immediately clear, it adds a sprinkle of humor to the city's legal landscape. Salt Lake City, known for its stunning views and outdoor activities, has a history of unique laws that reflect its culture and community values. The ukulele has long been a symbol of joy and music, so it might seem surprising to find a prohibition against it in such a vibrant city. Perhaps this law was enacted to encourage musicians to keep their instruments protected or to discourage street performances that could disrupt the peace. While this may sound like a joke or a relic of a bygone era, it's essential to know your local laws, especially if you're a music lover planning to visit. So if you ever find yourself strolling the streets of Salt Lake City with a ukulele, be sure to keep it wrapped up to avoid any legal trouble. Butterflies taste with their feet. Butterflies travel the world not just by flying, but by walking on their food. They have taste receptors located right on their feet, giving them a sort of built-in gourmet GPS. These special sensors allow butterflies to quickly find the perfect leaves to lay their eggs. Imagine living in a world where you don't taste with your mouth, but with your feet. Butterflies live in that curious reality every day. Did you know that Margherita pizza was named after a queen? Margherita pizza, one of the most popular types of pizza in the world, was named after Queen Margherita of Savoy, the wife of King Umberto I of Italy. Legend has it that the pizza was created to represent the colors of the Italian flag: red, tomatoes; white, mozzarella; and green, basil. This is not just a delicious dish, but also a symbol of Italian national pride and culinary tradition. So the next time you order margherita pizza, think about its royal origins. Did you know Vin Diesel loves Dungeons and Dragons? It's hard to picture the tough guy from action movies like Fast and Furious sitting around a table rolling dice. But that's exactly what he does. Vin Diesel isn't just a Hollywood superstar, he's a passionate gamer who has embraced the world of D&D for more than 2 decades. His love for the game started in his childhood and has flourished since then. In interviews, Diesel has shared stories about how playing Dungeons and Dragons helped shape his imagination and creativity. He's not just a casual player either. He dives deep into the role-playing experience, crafting characters and stories that thrill him and his friends. His enthusiasm for gaming even influenced his work, inspiring some of the roles he's taken on. So next time you see him in a high-octane action scene, remember, behind the muscle and grit, there's a devoted gamer who knows the magic of a good story and the adventure of teamwork, just like in a classic D&D campaign. Why do you think there is a skyscraper in Spain that stands empty? In Benidorm, Spain, there is a famous skyscraper called In Tempo, which was planned as a residential complex. However, construction ended without considering several crucial details, including elevators that do not reach the top floors. Despite its grandeur, the building remains empty because it is unfit for use. It has now become a symbol of planning errors and a reminder of the importance of considering every detail in architecture. You probably didn't know that the International Space Station is the most expensive object ever built. The cost of building and operating the ISS is approximately $150 billion. For comparison, that's almost 50 times the cost of the Eiffel Tower. All this money was spent to create a one-of-a-kind scientific laboratory complex orbiting the Earth. Could sloths really swim like fish? While sloths are known for their slow, tree-bound lives, their aquatic skills might surprise you. Despite their sluggish movement on land, sloths become graceful and capable swimmers in water. Using long arms and powerful forelimbs, they perform an effortless breaststroke, reaching speeds of up to 3 meters per minute. Their buoyant bodies, helped by slow metabolism and a layer of fat, allow them to float and move across rivers and flooded rainforest floors with minimal effort. They can even hold their breath underwater for 40 seconds, to avoid predators or cross swamps. Young sloths learn to swim just weeks after birth, showing how vital this skill is to survival. For these treetop residents, swimming isn't just an escape route, it's an essential part of navigating the lush, water-laced jungles of Central and South America. Did you know that dark forms of oxygen can appear at the ocean floor? Scientists have discovered an amazing phenomenon, the so-called dark oxygen. Typically, we know that oxygen is produced by plants through photosynthesis with the help of sunlight. However, minerals found on the ocean floor can generate oxygen without sunlight. This discovery shocked the scientific community, as it was previously thought that oxygen on Earth only came from living organisms. Research has shown that rocks on the seabed, through a process called electrolysis of seawater, can split it into oxygen and hydrogen. This changes our understanding of oxygen generation on the planet. Penicillin was discovered by accident, and it saved millions of lives. In 1928, Alexander Fleming returned from vacation to his laboratory and noticed that one of his Petri dishes, infected with bacteria, was covered in mold. He was amazed to find that bacteria were not growing around the mold. This was the beginning of the discovery of penicillin, the world's first antibiotic, which completely transformed medicine and saved countless lives. A chance discovery became one of the greatest breakthroughs in human history. Is it true that most dust is dead skin? Imagine that every day you shed millions of skin cells that turn into dust in your home. Dead skin cells make up a significant portion of household dust, along with clothing fibers, hair, and pollen. On average, a person loses about 200 million skin cells every hour. Of course, this doesn't sound very pleasant, but nature has designed your skin to constantly renew itself. In fact, one of the oils on your skin, squalene, helps reduce the harmful effects of ozone in the air, making your skin's microbiome a true protector of your environment. So the next time you're wiping down dust, remember, you're essentially cleaning away your yesterday cells that have already served their purpose. Amazing how the body continually renews itself and maintains balance with the environment. Why do fennec foxes have such enormous ears? The fennec fox, Vulpes zerta, smallest of all canids, roams the scorching Sahara with its oversized radar-like ears, sometimes half the length of its body. These iconic ears aren't just for show. Packed with blood vessels, they radiate heat away from the body, functioning as natural air conditioners in temperatures exceeding 50 degrees. But they also serve as hypersensitive detectors. Fennecs can hear insects crawling beneath the sand and pinpoint prey like rodents or beetles from meters away. Nocturnal by nature, they rely on their exceptional hearing and padded feet to silently stalk through dunes. Their large ears are a dual-purpose miracle. Audio surveillance devices by night and cooling panels by day evolved to perfection for desert survival. In a landscape of extremes, the fennec's ears are both its shield and its sword. Is it possible? Paper can be stronger than steel. Special technologies can create what is known as paper armor, which when treated properly becomes stronger than steel. For example, Japanese washi paper, used in some bulletproof vests, can withstand impacts that ordinary paper couldn't handle. This paper is treated with resins and layered, making it incredibly durable. Amazingly, paper can be used for protection, just like metal, thanks to these technologies. Most people don't know this, but Singapore has no rivers. This tiny island nation, known for its stunning skyline and bustling city life, is one of only 4 sovereign states on the planet without permanent rivers. Bordered by just one country, Malaysia, the unique geography of Singapore has posed some challenges, especially when it comes to water supply. With limited natural freshwater resources, the country has become skilled at water management and sustainability. A significant portion of its water actually comes from its neighbor Malaysia, thanks to a landmark agreement from 1961. This deal allows Singapore to import raw water from Johor and Lingyou at predetermined prices, ensuring that its citizens have enough to drink, use for sanitation, and enjoy in their lush parks. To further bolster its water security, Singapore has also invested heavily in technology and infrastructure, including advanced desalination plants and a comprehensive rainwater collection system. These efforts not only provide for its residents, but also set an inspiring example for water-scarce regions worldwide. Did you know Filipino food is a delicious adventure? Picture yourself stepping into the vibrant world of Filipino cuisine, where every meal tells a story. Iconic dishes like tocino, sinigang, and sisig are just the tip of the iceberg. Tocino, a mouth-watering fried pork dish, is known for its sweet and savory glaze that makes it a breakfast staple, often enjoyed with fluffy garlic rice. Then there's sinigang, a tangy and comforting soup that hits all the right notes with its mix of meat, veggies, and that unmistakable sour flavor, usually from tamarind. It's perfect for rainy days or just when you need a warm hug in a bowl. And let's not forget sisig, which takes sizzling pork to another level, served on a hot plate and bursting with flavor. It's an absolute must-try. This diverse culinary landscape reflects the country's rich history, blending influences from Spanish, Chinese, and indigenous cultures. Each dish offers a taste of Filipino hospitality and creativity, inviting you to join in the celebration every time you take a bite. Hard to believe, but there's a flying snake in Africa. In Africa, there's a snake known as the tree glider that can move from branch to branch, almost as if it's flying. It flattens its body and uses it as a parachute, covering distances of up to 20 meters in the air. These snakes use their flight abilities to escape predators and quickly move between trees. They look like creatures from a sci-fi movie, but this is the reality of the wild, where anything is possible. Here's what lies behind the successful American education system for international students. The U.S. remains the most popular and appealing country for students from around the world. This advantageous position allows America not only to attract talent, but also to transform it into innovative forces for its economy. Technologies developed at the country's universities later become the foundation for commercialization and economic growth. This creates a powerful synergistic effect where science, education, and business operate as a unified system capable of generating new ideas, products, and solutions, leading to the U.S.'s leadership in the global economy. Did you know that Mount Everest grows every year? Each year, the world's highest peak, Everest, grows a little taller, by a full 4 millimeters. This happens due to the tectonic plates beneath the Himalayas, which slowly but steadily push the mountain upwards. These tectonic processes have been going on for millions of years, and every time climbers reach the summit, they stand just a bit higher than their predecessors. Imagine, every step on Everest's summit is a step into new heights. It's not just a physical achievement, but a testament to the incredible natural forces that constantly reshape our planet. Everest is a symbol of nature's grandeur and its continuous movement forward. The Eiffel Tower grows in summer. Every year when summer hits Paris, the Eiffel Tower undergoes a little growth spurt. Its height can increase by a few centimeters due to the thermal expansion of iron. As temperatures rise, the metal expands, making the tower stretch upwards as if waking up from a winter slumber. This phenomenon shows how even majestic and sturdy structures, like the Eiffel Tower, are influenced by nature. And when summer ends and temperatures drop, the tower shrinks back to its usual height. It's a reminder that architecture and nature are always dancing together in harmony. Can you imagine that starfish live without a brain? Starfish don't have a brain in the way we understand it, but that doesn't stop them from moving, eating, and even regenerating lost limbs. Instead of a central command system, they rely on a nerve ring that circles their mouth, connecting to radial nerves that stretch into each arm. This decentralized network allows each limb to process information independently, making decisions locally while staying connected to the whole. Their movement is powered by a hydraulic system. Seawater is pumped into hundreds of tube feet, each equipped with suction pads, allowing starfish to crawl with gentle precision. When injured, they don't panic, they regrow. Their arms can regenerate completely, sometimes even forming an entirely new starfish. All of this occurs without a brain, challenging our assumptions about what intelligence and coordination look like in nature. Can you imagine that the moon is slowly drifting away from Earth? Each year, the moon moves about 3.5 centimeters farther away from Earth. This happens due to tidal interactions between the Earth and the moon. Billions of years ago, the moon was much closer, and in billions of years, it may drift out of Earth's gravitational pull altogether. Though this process is incredibly slow, scientists track it using lasers and reflectors left on the moon by the Apollo missions. Did you know Venus spins backwards? Unlike most planets in our solar system, Venus rotates in the opposite direction, meaning the sun rises in the west and sets in the east. Scientists are still unsure what caused this bizarre behavior, but one theory suggests that Venus may have collided with a massive asteroid long ago, altering its axis. And here's another mind-blowing fact. A day on Venus is actually longer than its year. Did you know the world's oldest message in a bottle was found after more than a century? In 2018, a bottle washed ashore on a beach in Western Australia containing a message tossed into the Indian Ocean by a German ship in 1886. This message had traveled through the seas for an incredible 132 years before being discovered. Talk about slow and steady mail service. It's a fascinating glimpse into the past, connecting us with a different era. Earth's gravity. Why isn't it the same everywhere? Have you ever wondered why gravity varies slightly in different places on Earth? It turns out this is due to many factors, such as altitude, the density of Earth's crust, and the distance from the equator. Gravity is stronger at the poles and in places with denser crust, like mountain ranges, because these areas are closer to the Earth's center. Conversely, gravity is weaker at high altitudes, such as on top of Mount Everest and near the equator. These variations are caused by the distribution of mass on the planet and the fact that Earth is slightly flattened at the poles. This highlights the complexity and uniqueness of our gravitational field. Now you know in some places on Earth, you weigh a little more or less than in others. Here's what lies behind the phenomenon of British tea. Tea is not just a beverage, it is a whole culture. In the UK, it is an integral part of daily life, playing a significant role in social interactions and traditions. The history of British tea has its roots in colonial times when Britain actively expanded its empire in India. Tea became an important export, and its consumption became a symbol of English hospitality. The origins of the word nurse date back to ancient times. The word nurse has its roots in Latin, where it originally meant to breastfeed. Over time, this word expanded its meaning to include those who care for the sick and help them recover. Today, when we call someone a nurse, we acknowledge their vital role in providing comfort and assistance. Nurses continue to embody the spirit of care, from their ancient origins in nurturing to their modern roles in the healing process. What if I told you that English is a blend of languages? Modern English is a true mosaic, woven with elements from German, French, Scandinavian languages, and many others. Although it is currently the official language of the United Kingdom, this was not always the case. English spread worldwide thanks to the British Empire, and its success is largely due to the vast array of words it has absorbed from different languages, making it easy to communicate and adaptable to diverse cultures. This is why English has become a global language. Let's kick off with the origins of football. Did you know that the world's most popular sport traces its roots back to ancient China over 2,000 years ago? The game, known as Cuju, involved players kicking a leather ball into a net, somewhat resembling modern football, but with its own unique charm. Cuju, which translates to kick the ball, was not just a fun pastime. It was part of military training and used as a way to keep soldiers agile and fit. Imagine a bustling ancient Chinese marketplace where excited players show off their skills, dribbling and passing the ball while spectators cheer them on. As time went on, variations of this game spread across different cultures, leading to the development of various forms of football we know today. From the grassy fields of England to the sandy beaches of Brazil, the spirit of Cuju can still be felt in how we enjoy football today. So next time you watch your favorite team play, remember you're partaking in a tradition that goes back centuries. Horsepower, more than just a name. Did you know that a horse can produce a lot more than just 1 horsepower? The term was coined by Scottish engineer James Watt to compare the power of steam engines to the strength of a horse. It turns out that a single horse can actually generate a maximum output of up to 18,000 watts, which is roughly equivalent to 24 horsepower. This number depends on factors like the horse's size, breed, and physical condition. While we often use this unit to measure cars and machinery, its origins tie us back to the era of steam engines and the Industrial Revolution. Did you know that accents in Britain can change every few kilometers? British English is quite different from American English, and its pronunciation has become increasingly diverse in recent years. Accents in various parts of the UK can vary so widely that you can hear a completely different pronunciation just a few kilometers apart. The royal family is trained to speak Queen's English, which is a distinct and unique standard in the language. Here's a wild connection you didn't see coming. A giraffe's tongue is sunproof. A giraffe's tongue is not only impressively long, up to 50 centimeters, it's also a multifunctional tool adapted for life under the sun. Its purplish-black color isn't just unusual, it protects against sunburn. While giraffes spend up to 12 hours a day reaching for thorny acacia leaves, their tongues remain exposed, so the dark pigment acts like built-in sunscreen. The tongue is also prehensile and tough, allowing giraffes to grasp branches, strip leaves, and avoid thorns with ease. Its surface is covered in bristle-like papillae, and its saliva is antibacterial, helping heal cuts and prevent infection. The tongue even plays a role in social grooming and caring for young. Flexible, sun-safe, and strong, it's not just a tongue, it's a savanna survival toolkit in action. Imagine for a moment that Stonehenge is older than the Egyptian pyramids. Stonehenge is a mysterious monument that remains one of the world's greatest enigmas. It was built around 3000 BC, making it older than the oldest pyramid, the Great Pyramid of Khufu in Egypt, which was constructed around 2500 BC. It is unknown how ancient people managed to erect such a grand structure, and, importantly, why they did so. This makes Stonehenge an important archaeological and cultural landmark. Did you know the creator of the Frisbee had his ashes turned into a Frisbee? After the death of Walter Morrison, the inventor of the Frisbee, his ashes were turned into a Frisbee. This unusual tribute not only kept his spirit alive, but literally made him part of the game he created. It's a reminder that a person's memory can fly on, encouraging us to enjoy every moment of life. How would you react if you found out that there are over 100 words for rain in Britain? It's not a joke. The English language boasts more than 100 words to describe different types of rain. This emphasis on describing precipitation is due to the constant rainy weather in the UK. And if you ever find yourself in Britain on a rainy day, remember that the best way to cope with the dreary weather is by having a cup of tea, which is also an important part of British culture. Why do you think children in Britain start school at age 4? In the UK, children begin their education at 4 or 5 years old and complete the entire school curriculum by 16-18, which totals 13 years of schooling. This is longer than in many other countries, where school education lasts for a shorter duration. However, in university, British students study for only 3 years, unlike in many other countries where it's typically 4. In state schools, students are required to wear strict dark blue uniforms, highlighting the importance of discipline and tradition in the British educational system. How did ancient Egyptians predict the flooding of the Nile? The ancient Egyptians believed that the flooding of the Nile depended on the position of the star Sirius in the sky. They watched for its rising and knew that when Sirius appeared, the time of the flood was approaching, bringing fertility and wealth to their land. Sirius was so important to the ancient Egyptians that it was even associated with the goddess Isis. This star helped predict harvests and prevent famine, holding significance for thousands of years. Did you know that 2 to 3% of people don't need deodorant? Yes, it's true. About 2 to 3% of the population has a genetic mutation that prevents the production of unpleasant body odor associated with sweating. These people can engage in sports and physical activity without worrying about body odor. This happens because they lack the necessary bacteria that break down sweat and create unpleasant smells. This discovery sheds light on the diversity of human genetics and how we perceive body odors. Can you believe that a shrimp's heart is in its head? Yes, you heard that right. A shrimp's heart is located in its head. This fascinating fact makes the shrimp unique among sea creatures. In its tiny head, both the brain and heart work in harmony to keep the shrimp alive. It's like a little command center where all the vital functions happen in one place. This quirky anatomy allows shrimp to remain highly efficient and agile in their underwater world, making them one of nature's most interesting creations. Is it possible that sharks don't get cancer? Sharks are considered some of the most resilient creatures on the planet, and their unique regenerative abilities protect them from many diseases. Although sharks can get cancer, it happens very rarely because their immune system is extremely strong. Studying shark tissues has helped scientists better understand how to fight diseases and prolong human life. These ancient predators hold many secrets, and their bodies inspire breakthroughs in medicine. Did you know that Scotland has 421 words for snow? In Scotland, the language is so rich in describing weather phenomena that they have as many as 421 words for snow. This discovery was made by the University of Glasgow as part of the Historical Thesaurus of Scots project. Some of these words are unique and sound quite unusual. For example, sneasel refers to fine rain or snow, and feeful means snow swirling in the wind. This vast vocabulary demonstrates how important snow and weather are in Scottish life. The first computer mouse was made of wood. In 1964, Douglas Engelbart invented the first computer mouse, and it was made of wood. This device, with 2 metal wheels, revolutionized how humans interact with computers. Today, modern mice are much more advanced, but that wooden mouse remains a landmark in computer history. How would you react if you learned that it was Tim Berners-Lee who invented the World Wide Web? What if you found out that Tim Berners-Lee, a British scientist, was the one who created it? This is not just a change in technology, it's a revolution that radically transformed how we communicate and access information. In 1989, while working at CERN, Berners-Lee proposed a hypertext system that would link information through documents. This became the foundation for the World Wide Web, and since then, the Internet has evolved, providing access to millions of websites and changing society. In the UK, there are many other scientists, such as Charles Darwin, Stephen Hawking, and Isaac Newton, whose discoveries and research laid the groundwork for modern sciences and technologies. It's not as simple as it seems, because Iceland isn't just ice. When early Norse explorers reached this island, it was winter. They saw snowstorms, icy cliffs, and cold seas, and they named it Island, or Iceland, based on first impressions. But this land of ice is also a land of fire, one of the most volcanically active places on Earth, filled with geysers, green pastures, and hot springs. Ironically, Iceland is greener in parts than its neighbor Greenland. Over the centuries, the name stuck, becoming a kind of poetic misdirection. Viking sagas described Iceland as both beautiful and brutal, a land of gods and giants, and modern visitors still find that contrast alive. Today, glaciers and lava fields coexist with modern cities and geothermal energy. Iceland's name tells only half the story. Its true identity is a spectacular blend of opposites. Why does an entire sea freeze in Canada? In Hudson Bay, winter temperatures can drop so low that the sea completely freezes, turning it into a giant ice desert. The ice here is so thick that even vehicles can travel across it. In winter, locals use it as a road, creating temporary routes directly on the sea's surface. This icy highway becomes vital for those living in the remote areas of northern Canada. Did you know astronauts can't burp in space? It's true, up there in the big vast universe, the absence of gravity changes how our bodies function in surprising ways. You see, when we're on Earth, gravity keeps everything in our stomachs in their designated positions. When we eat or drink, gas can build up, and we can release it by burping. But in space, things are a bit different. Without gravity to help separate the gases from liquids in our stomachs, astronauts find that the gas doesn't rise as it normally would back home. This means that instead of a nice, satisfying burp after a meal, they might just feel bloated and uncomfortable. The gas doesn't escape easily, which can lead to some tricky situations during long missions. To combat this, astronauts have to be careful about what they eat and drink, opting for foods that minimize gas production. So next time you're indulging in a fizzy drink or a hearty meal, just remember, in the zero-gravity world of space, burping is a luxury they simply can't afford. Did you know that France sent a cat into space? In 1963, France launched Félicité, also known as Astrocat, into space. Electrodes were carefully implanted in her brain, allowing scientists to receive neurological signals during her voyage among the stars. Félicité bravely journeyed into space and miraculously survived the mission, becoming the first cat in history to venture beyond Earth. She not only etched her name into the annals of space exploration, but also showed that animals have been important pioneers in human cosmic endeavors. In the UK, there is a national sport, golf. Do you know its history? Golf originated in Scotland. The first mention of golf dates back to 1497, when King James II banned it to focus citizens on military training. However, in the following years, golf became an integral part of British culture and gained popularity here. Today, golf remains a popular sport, and Scotland continues to host world championships. Hard to believe, but snakes can sleep with their eyes open. Snakes don't blink because they don't have eyelids. Instead, their eyes are covered by a transparent scale. During sleep, their eyes remain open, giving the impression that they are always watching their surroundings. This feature helps snakes stay alert to threats even while resting. The transparent scale also protects their eyes from dust and dirt, which is especially important for desert and forest dwellers. It's an incredible adaptation that allows them to sense danger even in their sleep. Can you imagine that some flowers eat mice? This isn't science fiction, it's reality. There are carnivorous plants such as the nepenthes or pitcher plants, that can trap and digest not only insects but also small animals like mice. These plants secrete sweet nectar to lure their prey, and once the animal falls into the pitcher, it can't escape. The plant world is far more cunning and mysterious than it seems. Thumbs have their own pulse. Have you ever wondered why people check their pulse using their index and middle fingers instead of their thumbs? It's because your thumb has its own pulse. Each thumb is supplied with blood by the radial artery, which runs along the wrist on the thumb side. This artery is so strong that you can feel its pulse when you touch it. That's why it's recommended to avoid using your thumb when taking a pulse, to prevent mixing up its pulse with your actual heartbeat. Now you know that even your thumb has its own little heartbeat. Could this really be true? All gold ever mined fits in 3 pools. Despite its glittering presence in culture and commerce, gold is astonishingly rare. Every ounce ever extracted by humans totals around 187,000 metric tons, enough to fill just 3 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Most of it sits in vaults, central banks, jewelry, and high-tech electronics. The metal's appeal lies in its unique properties. It doesn't corrode, it's easy to shape, and it's stunning to look at. Ancient civilizations from Egypt to the Inca worshipped it. Modern economies still hoard it. And yet, for all its symbolic weight, gold is surprisingly compact in physical volume. It's a reminder that rarity, not abundance, drives value, and that the treasures we fight over can sometimes fit in a room. Is it really true that Diet Coke floats? You might be surprised to learn that a regular can of Coke sinks while its diet counterpart stays buoyant in water. Why does this happen? It all comes down to density, which is how heavy something is for its size. Regular Coke is packed with sugar, which adds weight and makes it denser than water. When the can hits the water, the weight pulls it down. Conversely, Diet Coke is sweetened with artificial sweeteners that are much lighter, making the overall can less dense than water. This lighter density allows Diet Coke to bob on the surface, defying expectations. If you've ever tossed a can into a pool or bucket, this little experiment can turn into a fun science lesson. Gather some friends, fill up a container, and see for yourself. This quirky difference not only highlights the fascinating principles of density, but also showcases how small changes in ingredients can lead to surprising and delightful outcomes in our everyday products. Did you know that cat's eyes save lives on roads? Who would have thought that a simple reflective device could save millions of lives? Cat's eye reflectors were invented in 1934 by Percy Shaw, inspired by how car headlights reflected off a cat's eyes in the night. These small reflective elements are an essential part of road markings, helping drivers navigate better at night and in bad weather. Now used worldwide, they are a simple innovation that has dramatically improved road safety, saving thousands of lives. Can you imagine that monkeys can use money? Experiments have shown that monkeys can be trained to use money. They demonstrate an understanding of its value, make economic choices, and exhibit human-like traits such as protesting against injustice or even engaging in prostitution among male monkeys. This finding raises questions about how much our economic behavioral patterns may be common across species. Did you know that the highest peak in Pennsylvania is lower than the lowest point in Colorado? This surprising fact highlights the incredible diversity and contrast in the geography of the United States. Pennsylvania's highest point, Mount Davis, stands at only 983 meters, which is actually lower than the lowest point in Colorado. The Arkansas River, at around 1,000 meters above sea level. Geography can sometimes surprise you with unexpected comparisons like this one. Galileo didn't invent the telescope. Many people believe that Galileo Galilei invented the telescope, but in reality, he improved upon an existing design. The first telescope was actually created by a Dutch spectacle maker named Hans Lippershey in 1608. Galileo made enhancements to this design and used the telescope for astronomical observations, discovering phenomena such as lunar mountains and Jupiter's moons. His contributions to science are invaluable, but it's important to remember that great discoveries often build upon the work of those who came before. Can you imagine how long your blood vessels are? It might blow your mind to learn that the human body houses an incredible network of blood vessels stretching around 60,000 miles or about 96,500 kilometers. That's nearly enough to wrap around the Earth's equator 2.5 times. These vessels include arteries, veins, and capillaries, all working tirelessly to maintain our health. Arteries carry oxygen-rich blood from the heart to every part of your body, while veins return the oxygen-poor blood back to the heart, and capillaries act as tiny bridges between the two. If you line them all up, they'd create a massive web that's not just impressive, but essential for life. This circulatory system helps transport nutrients, hormones, and waste, playing a critical role in keeping our bodies functioning smoothly. So next time you feel your heartbeat, remember that it's a signal of that vast network at work, silently and efficiently delivering what we need for survival. The secret to flight: 4 forces that keep a plane in the air. A plane's flight isn't just about its wings. In reality, there are 4 forces at work: lift, thrust, drag, and gravity. Lift keeps the plane in the air thanks to the wings. Thrust propels the plane forward through its engines. Drag resists the plane's motion, and gravity pulls it down. These forces work together to maintain stable flight, like a well-choreographed dance where each force has its role. Understanding these forces can make the marvel of flight even more fascinating. Isn't it fascinating that our brain stays alert when we sleep in a new place? Have you ever noticed that you sleep less soundly the first night in a new place, like a hotel or a friend's house? This is due to a phenomenon known as the first night effect. It turns out that part of our brain remains on guard when we sleep in an unfamiliar environment, helping to protect us from potential threats. Studies show that the left hemisphere of the brain remains more active than the right, allowing us to react more quickly to external stimuli. This ancient survival mechanism helps our bodies adapt to new surroundings. But don't worry, over time, the brain adjusts to the new place, and the first night effect fades, allowing you to sleep more peacefully. What do you think makes Angkor Wat not just a temple, but a whole civilization? Angkor Wat in Cambodia is not only the largest religious complex in the world, but also a symbol of a great civilization that left a profound mark on history. Built in the 12th century, this temple remains an important cultural and religious center. Angkor Wat captivates not only with its size and architectural beauty, but also with its wealth of sculptures, bas reliefs, and remarkable temple structures that tell the story of the prosperity of the Khmer Empire. Is it really true that lakes can be colorful? The Spotted Lake in British Columbia, Canada, is a stunning natural wonder that brings this idea to life. During the summer months, when the heat increases, the lake's saline waters evaporate, leaving behind a dazzling display of vibrant colors. The lake is rich in minerals, including magnesium sulfate, calcium, and sodium, which create colorful pools that resemble painters' palettes scattered across its surface. Each year, visitors gaze in awe at the distinctive shades of blue, green, yellow, and white that emerge, making it a popular spot for photographers and nature lovers alike. Interestingly, the mineral-rich waters also have a story to tell, as they hold cultural significance for the indigenous people of the region who use them for traditional healing practices. While the lake's beauty is captivating, it's essential to appreciate it from a distance, as swimming is not permitted due to the fragile ecosystem. So, next time you think of lakes, remember that not all are just blue or green. Some can truly surprise you with their colorful charm. Did you know that Plitvice Lakes in Croatia are a true natural maze? The Plitvice Lakes consist of 16 individual bodies of water set in a unique natural landscape, interconnected by waterfalls and streams. These lakes are located within the eponymous National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Plitvice Lakes are not only a stunning natural beauty, but also an example of how nature can create a perfect destination for tourism and relaxation. Have you ever wondered what the Meteora in Greece hides in its history of fighting against invaders? Meteora consists of unique monasteries perched on high cliffs in Greece. They were built in the Middle Ages by monks who used this inaccessible and protected area as a refuge from Turkish invaders. To reach the monasteries, the monks had to create ladders and special ropes, and until 100 years ago, The only access was via rope ladders. Today, travelers can ascend via a cable car or treacherous stairs, yet they still feel the grandeur and historical power of this place. Did you know that the Tower of London was once bright white? In the Middle Ages, the Tower of London wasn't gray as it is today, but instead it was covered with a white plaster, earning it the nickname White Tower. At that time, white plaster symbolized strength and purity. Every few years, the tower was repainted to maintain its bright appearance. Over time, the coating wore away, and the tower became gray due to dirt and pollution. But once, it really was a gleaming white pearl on the London skyline.